What's really good, LeSBP Trading Familia? Buenos dias, bonjour, bon dia, salbona, guten abend, konbanwa, masakia, aftab. Thank you all for tuning in. So this is going to be just our weekly recap. I haven't been doing them because kind of wanted to get into the challenge first and stuff like that. If you don't know, I've been dealing with Take Profit Trader challenge, prop firm futures challenge, and we were doing really well. I'll kind of have to go back, recap everything else like in the past, and then kind of move forward. But for right now, this is going to be over the week of 4/28 through April 28th, excuse me, through May 2nd. That's the current week right now. And yeah, I'll have to brief you all on the past in another video. So as for right now, let's go ahead, jump right into it and talk about it. So let's do this week and forward. We lost a ass load of money. So this week wasn't a great week. We had losses of $537.50 out of 26 trades, 52 contracts, so on and so forth of all this average and whatnot. Out of the profitable trades, we had $465. Out of the total losses, we had $1,002.50. I can go ahead and tell you that a lot of this is from me over trading. Now, I don't necessarily know exactly how to fix that because I'm just going off of my current strategy. I'm not necessarily attempting to overtrade, but I'm trying to take all the trades that pop up as valid via my confluences. So the bad thing about it is my confluences sometimes can give me a boatload of trades. Like you'll see on like Tuesday, we had like 7 trades for no reason. And then on, certain days like today, which was Friday, I had 1 trade, so yeah, we'll go over it. All right, looking at the trades just really quickly, this is kind of like the running wins and losses. You can kind of pause that if you want to. I'm not going to go through every single one of those because I'm going to go through it on the chart. So we had some mediocre losing days, as you could see, and then we had some mediocre winning days, but definitely didn't equal out to us being positive in the week. So starting off from Monday, Monday was a decent day. We had a break-even trade, we had a winning trade, and then we had a losing trade. Now, this is one of those days where it could have definitely been alleviated. I didn't have a secondary sell trade here. This is just me jumping back into the market. So this kind of over trading could have been avoided, is what I'm trying to say. We could have just taken our little W right here, which wasn't even really supposed to be a W. It was supposed to be a break even. And then we could have just said, you know what, fuck it, we're out. As you can see, what I ended up doing was I took this break-even trade. We got into a sell position. We were winning pretty decently, up about 45, 46, 49 pips. And then I started to kind of see it come back. Now, after these like 5 positive candles, I was like, you know what? Do I really want to stay in or do I really want to just go ahead and get out of it? I ended up saying, yeah, you know what? Let's go ahead and get out of it. And I took 19.75 pips away from that, which is on the 28th. And as you can see, that day, that was $98.75. So we took a positive break even. Then we took a $98 winner, which basically equaled out to $200 on the day. Sorry, I don't know what happened there. Which basically equaled out to $200 on the day. Now, we could have simply just left with that, had $200, but no, we had to try to get back in at a better position, hoping that it would continue on its way back down. And what I ended up doing was after this bit of consolidation, after this bit of consolidation right here, I said, you know what? I'm going to get back in this trade and see what it can give us. And as you can see, we got back in on this 1445 candle, 5-minute candle. And yeah, it just went completely against us and took us out right here at what my break even would have been. What my break even would have been had I let this trade continue up, because that's basically what was technically supposed to happen. I guess that's how I validated the trade or taking that trade, because in my head I was like, well, technically this is supposed to be a break even trade, or it could be a break even trade, because of course I didn't know that it was going to continue up. Because at this point I'm just like, well, technically, if it does go back up, this would have been a break even trade either way, so we're going to win something, blah, 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 blah. And I shouldn't have said that. I should just say, you know what? We took the trade that we wanted to. We got out, and that's it. But yeah, so took that trade, took a loss, learned that lesson. Won't I hopefully won't do it again. I might be lying because I probably will do it again. Tuesday, holy shit. So Tuesday was really hectic. As you can see, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I really didn't even know we had 7, but we had 7 trades all in that exact same day. So as you can see, first loss, break even, second loss, third loss, fourth loss, fifth loss, and finally into a winner basically at the end of the day. I don't take any trades after 1500, so that was the last trade on the day either way. And at 1540, I closed down everything because I just don't even want to get close to that end of that New York session day around 5 p.m. I don't want to deal with the whole trickling factor because sometimes it can be good and sometimes it can just be hell. So either way, like I said, we took a trade really early in the morning. I don't trade until after about 9:30. So as you can see, my hope was that kind of this little area here was going to hold. Oops, my bad. This kind of area here was going to hold. Like I said, I don't use support resistance as a confluence for entry, but it does help me out when I already have my other confluences playing. So we had a entry originally, which was right about here. Oops, what the hell was that? We had an original entry which was right about here. And sometimes what I tend to do is if the market comes back to that entry point, I'll take that trade. It's not always a good thing. I'm not gonna lie to you all. It's not always a good thing because as you can see, it could just go straight through and end up being a loss when in fact we could have just missed the trade in totality altogether. But at the same time, sometimes it can be good. There's a 50-50 chance. So we took that trade, take the loss. Break even trade, nothing else to be said. From that point, I'm thinking, okay, do we need to be on the buy side? Do we need to switch our I don't necessarily say bias, but do we need to switch the way that we're looking at the trades? Well, once again, I just go with my confluences. So in my head, I'm like, you know what? There's no reason to think it out. Make it mechanical. Just go with what you see as for confluences. If your confluences say buy, then buy. If your confluences say sell, then sell. I have to talk to myself like this because there's plenty of times where I create a bias and say, no, I'm only going to sell for the day. I'm only going to buy for the day. And next thing you know, I missed the greatest trade that I probably could have ever had. And that's because I'm sitting here having a general bias instead of just taking what my confluences give me. That's why they're there. Might as well take them. So either way, took that loss. Right after that, there was a sell confluence. Took that loss because immediately after I got in, as you can see, I mean, we got a ray of hope and that was it. Then I did go to the buy side again. Excuse me. I did go to the buy side again. It's 12 o'clock. I didn't realize that. I did go to the buy side again. As you can see, ray of hope, then hell, then to the sell side. And it's just because my confluences sometimes are so close to the EMAs that as soon as it crosses, I get in. But in this factor, it can hurt you. It can hurt you. It can definitely hurt you. I can tell you that it hurts you more than helps you in anything. So, but it's not in a way that you can't become a profitable trader, from what I understand. Um, but that's why I'm not a profitable trader yet. I don't know. But either way, yeah. So we took that loss on the sell, then we took a loss on the we took a loss on the buy, then we took a loss on the sell, and then finally, like I said, we got our last trade of the day here at around 1325 ish. We entered to a buy position. Kind of came up a little bit, gave us roughly about 20-25 pips, and then after that, it trickled down to about 13.75 before we end up getting out. Now on Wednesday was I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of pissed because Wednesday happened pretty much at the end of the day. Like this is one of those examples once again where basically I get out at 1540, boom, great, because had I not gotten out at 1540, as you can see, it would have, done a little bit of a spike, came back up to the tops of where it was at, which was like 20 some odd pips or maybe 25 pips, and then it just kind of fell off. And this would have ended up being a break even trade because after 19.25, my stop loss was already up to break even, so entry point. And it would have just trickled off until it hit my break even point, roughly. Well, actually, no, it probably would have been a little bit positive because I have to get out by 1655 because I can't hold it past 1700. But either way, it still would have been less than what we got. Now, that was on Tuesday. But as you can see, on Wednesday, had we held it past 1540, this would have been our 60 pips that we were looking for, almost pretty much easily at around about 1600. that would happen at 4 p.m., which would have been totally fine for the challenge because as long as I'm out before 1700, we're not breaking any rules. Either way, that's against my rule, which is not to hold that trade past 1540. So we took on the first trade here, excuse me, got something in my eye. On the first trade here, we ended up taking an L. I think we actually got out a little bit later than this. I don't think we took 2 pips. What was that? That was on the 30th at 1540. The 30th. I want to say we got out just a tad bit later. We got out at 1549 at 559.25. 55. What? Oh, 5569. My bad. I'm like, wait a minute. Okay. Yeah, so we got out at 17.25 pips. So let me mark that because I obviously didn't mark it. Got it over here. We would have got out over here at this candle, not that candle. So we did hold it a little bit longer than what I normally would. All right, so we got a little bit. We did hold it a little bit longer, I think, on this day, just because it was literally at like break even at 1540. But we got on the very next candle at 1549. I didn't want to hold it, and immediately after we got out, yeah, I remember now. Immediately after I got out, it spiked like extremely hard. I'm just like looking at it like you motherfucker. But either way, yeah, so we did not follow our rule just a little bit by this 5 minute candle, but it kind of helped out because we ended up getting a little more pips. Not a great thing though, because once again it could go the opposite direction. So we came up positive, basically a positive break even on the day because we lost 13.5 here and then we gained 17.75. So it wasn't really that much, like not even 4 pips. Well, yeah, 4.25 pips positive. So that was a positive day. And then after that, as you can see, the market kind of, went up a little bit here. And then on Thursday was another one of those weird days where huge stop loss for one, huge stop loss. Two, it didn't have a general direction. So me thinking like, man, is it going to continue to the upside, or is it going to play back and test all of this room right here? So my idea was to hope that it will come up, and then you would see like a kind of a slow trickle down, maybe a pushback or a pullback or whatever, and then like a slow trickle back down to this particular area. And as you can see, I was completely wrong. That's why my TP was so low and so big, because I was thinking that, maybe it's a possibility that it's going to test and come back down. But as you can see, ended up giving us a ray of hope a few times, but ultimately, boom, just straight off, not doing really well or doing too much of anything. Then we had a buy position really fucking high up. I definitely had to mold or modify my confluences, because I feel like even saying it now, and I think I was thinking this at the same time on Thursday, I'm like, man, this is really a really high confluence for it to continue into a buy. But it does happen. So I just gotta follow it. But got into that buy position, and as you can see, ended up taking a quick loss on that one. I think luckily, our confluences gave us a smaller stop loss. I know I have this way down here, but our stop loss was at the bottom of this candle, basically. And I was like, yeah, I'm out. Then really low sell trade there. As you can see, after like 10 candles of red, that's when we finally got our confluences. Once it passed the MAs, that's the only thing I'll be waiting on. But that's when we finally got our confluences for a sell position, got into that sell position, and as you can see, kind of played around. And I can tell you 100%, this one really pissed me off. Like, and it's for the simple fact that we get out at 14.15 thinking, you know what, the market's playing around. We're not going to stick with this trade, blah, blah, blah. We're going to lose anyways. And we would have, don't get me wrong, we would have, unless I would have held it like I did the other day, which was that Wednesday. So as you can see, 1540, had we closed at 1540, which is our normal time that we're supposed to close, we would have lost a little bit less. But had we held, for 5-10 more minutes past 1540, easily hit our TP1 or our 1-to-1. And yeah, that just like, ugh. I'm just like, really? Come on, bro. Come on. But either way, It's all good. We're following our confluences, so I can't really be mad at it. Took a random ass trade late at night on Friday. You're probably gonna see that video, or you probably saw that video yesterday because I'm probably gonna release this video on a Sunday, and that video is gonna come out Saturday morning. But took a really random ass trade at 2 something in the morning. Don't ask me why. I was on the charts. One, awake. Why I was awake. Two, and then trading and stuff like that. I don't even know. But it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I was like, you know what? We're awake. Let's go ahead and try to jump in the London session. But today is, of course, today is Friday, by the way. But it's NFP. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not even gonna try to make an excuse for myself. It's just really silly. So I jumped to that trade. We actually added on to the trade too, which is even dumber. Ended up taking 2 losses. The second one was really small though. I think we jumped in at the top of this candle, so we only lost like a pip and a half, +7, so probably like 9.25 pips or something like that. So it really wasn't that horrible, but to me, just a dumbass trade because I don't trade in fucking London session. I don't trade at 2 o'clock in the morning. Like that was stupid. But later on in the day, during the normal New York session, like I'm supposed to trade, NFP came out, and as you can see, we talked about this in yesterday's video. NFP came out. We waited for it to draw back down to that point where my confluences were met, which was actually at 835. Jumped to a buy position. I didn't even wait for it to go into technically like drawdown or anything like that or whatever. But once it got down to that point, I had a buy limit set. That buy limit got hit. Boom. And then I had my sell stop set as well down here. Got into that trade, and yeah, we got one little candle right here, which was kind of making my butt clench. But after that, it was pretty decent. Held this trade for I think it was like 5 hours today. Yeah, 5 hours and 52 minutes, so almost 6 hours, basically just holding on to that trade. Got out at 1540 ish. 1540, yeah, we got out directly at 1540, and that was all she wrote. So that's this week's trade. Sorry, these videos are a little bit longer because I'm talking about the whole week, and of course I reiterate myself a lot. If you don't already know, please watch my videos on ×2 so that you can get through them faster. I talk relatively slow. I repeat myself quite a bit, and I'm usually pretty clear when I'm talking as well, so you should be able to understand it even if it's on ×2. Other than that, that's really about it. About to go take a shower. Might eat something real quick, which I shouldn't because it's like 12. It's midnight, past midnight. But yeah, hope you all had a great week. We didn't do so hot this week, but hopefully we can come back and slowly but surely build this account back up. We have to make $3,000 in the challenge. There's no real time limit, which I didn't realize like what that meant. Excuse me. But there's no real time limit, so we can have this for months if we want to before we pass. We just got to keep paying that 120 per month for right now, which is what I'm paying. And as soon as we pass, we get our actual trading account. So we'll see how it goes. I'm hoping this month we pass though. The month of May going into June, I'm hoping we pass. So either way, appreciate y'all. Thanks. Have a good week. Peace. I'm hungry.